In 1934, in a small Canadian farmhouse with no electricity, no running water, and barely enough food to survive the winter, something happened that stunned the world. 5 identical girls were born, 2 months early, each one small enough to fit in the palm of a man's hand. Their combined weight less than 14 pounds. Doctors said they would die within hours. Statisticians said their survival odds were 1 in 57 million. Newspapers called it a miracle. Radio stations called it hope. But what no one realized was that this miracle would become one of the most profitable kidnappings in modern history. Canada was suffocating under the Great Depression. Families were starving. Jobs were disappearing. Hope was in short supply. So when word spread that a poor farmer's wife had given birth to identical quintuplets who survived the night, the nation clung to the story like a lifeline. Their father, Annette Dionne, was illiterate and desperate. Within days, promoters arrived men with suits, cameras, and contracts he couldn't read. They offered money, they offered protection, they offered fame. But before Oliva could decide anything, the government of Ontario made the decision for him. The babies were declared wards of the Crown. Officially, it was to protect them from exploitation. Unofficially, they had just become government property. The miracle had been nationalized. Across the road from their parents' farmhouse, the government built something unprecedented. They called it Quintland. It looked like a hospital, it functioned like a laboratory. But in reality, it was a zoo. Every day, up to 6,000 tourists arrived. Cars stretched for miles. Families brought lunches. Children pressed their faces to the glass. Inside the courtyard, the 5 sisters played identical dresses, identical routines, identical smiles trained by nurses. They were surrounded by one-way glass. They could hear footsteps. They could hear laughter. They could hear applause. But they never saw a single face. To the world, they were icons. To themselves, they were alone. By the late 1930s, the Dionne Quintuplets were more famous than Niagara Falls. The government insisted there was no admission fee. But the real money was elsewhere. Souvenirs, dolls molded in their likeness, postcards, movies, endorsements from baby, powder to breakfast cereal. By the age of 5, the girls had generated the modern equivalent of $500 million. That money saved the province of Ontario from bankruptcy. Inside Quintland, the rules were strict. No hugs, no kisses. Affection was considered dangerous. Their days were scheduled to the minute. They were weighed, measured, photographed, tested. Psychologists observed them like experiments. Doctors debated their behavior. They weren't raised as sisters. They were raised as a brand, and brands do not need love. At age 9, after years of public pressure, the government finally returned the girls to their family. Newspapers celebrated the reunion. Photos showed smiles. Headlines promised a happy ending. But the truth lived inside the walls. Their parents were strangers. Their siblings resented them. The house was filled with tension. The girls had lived in luxury while their family struggled in poverty. Love was replaced with control. Discipline replaced affection. Later, the sisters would describe it as another prison, just without glass. At 18, they left home for good. They cut contact. They scattered into separate lives. The miracle children vanished from the spotlight. In 1998, the surviving sisters sued the government for their stolen childhood. They won $4 million, but money cannot replace a mother's touch, or erase the sound of crowds you never see. One by one, the sisters passed away quietly, privately. As of late 2025, the last of them is gone. They leave behind a warning more relevant now than ever. In an age of viral children, family vloggers, and algorithmic fame, we must ask ourselves, when we turn children into content, what part of their soul do we leave behind on the other side of the glass?